Good morning, good morning, good morning. You know what today is? Monday Morning Chats with Sack. Sack is me. I hope that you guys had a good weekend. My weekend, it was okay. It was okay. I did not get as much sleep as I liked. I had a family emergency. But I'm okay now. I'm okay now. The good thing is the Eagles did win yesterday, so I was happy about that. I got a chance to see Woman King. And one of my girlfriends, she reached out to me and was like, hey, what are you doing? It was on a Friday night. And me, Fridays, I try my best to just sit still after a long week. And it felt good. I was cleaning and, looking at Netflix. That's my thing. And she was like, girl, what you doing tonight? And I was like, nothing. She was like, you should go out and should go to this movie room. I got movie passes. So The Woman King, it was amazing. Amazing. I'll tell you one thing about me. If I go to the movies or if I'm watching a movie at home, it has to be something to really catch my attention because I can't sit still. I can't sit still more than like 30 minutes. Even when I'm working, like I have to move around, but I still get things done. I could be productive for a good 20 minutes to about 45 minutes. Depending on what I'm doing. Like if I'm reading, if I'm researching, I could be in my zone. But other than that, I need to make sure it's something that I really like. If not, no. Because me, I'm a reader. So if there's a movie, I'd rather read the book, honestly. And then look at the movie afterwards and try to compare it to. Like, that's what I would do. But other than that, yeah, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. So I thought about like what I wanted to talk about today, and I'm really big on mental health, and September is Suicide Month awareness. And I know in my last video I did talk about how I had someone call me and told me they wanted to commit suicide, and I didn't know how to respond, and it was a lot for me to really handle. And, I'm praying with this person and I'm like, Dad, this is a lot. And I talked to one of my, a leader that I report to at church. And I was like, how do you deal with this? And so today, if I had to label this, this chat, it would be, when was the last time you felt like you wasn't okay, right? Because it's okay not to be okay. So when was the last time you felt like you were not okay? And when you felt that, did you talk to somebody about how you felt? It could be a therapist. It can be a close friend, a close family member. Like, when was the last time you felt okay? You didn't feel okay and you were able to express that to someone. So I like to do my check-ins with my friends because sometimes life gets the best of me and sometimes I forget, Dad, I haven't talked to this person in a while. Let me just check in. Because sometimes, I do this and I'm working on this, that sometimes I just assume that, hey, I see them doing well on social media. They're good. Like, I'm going to get back to them eventually. But I realize that you can't get time back. People are dying every single day, whether it's suicide, whether it's a homicide. Like, people are losing their life every single day. And I'm trying my best to make sure that just because someone appears to be okay on social media doesn't mean that they're okay. And so something told me, I was praying and I was like, God, I hope that my friends are doing well. I hope that my family members are doing well. My colleagues are doing well. And just give me a sign to let me know if there's somebody that is close to me that's not doing okay. All right. And I got that sign and I reached out to somebody. I was like, hey, I look at this person as family. If you see this person on social media, you would think they have everything going on, like they're doing their thing, they're just grinding and just making things happen. And I reached out like, hey, how are you? Like, how are you doing? I'm just checking up on you. Like, how do you feel? And this was a man. And he told me, I am not okay. And I was like, one, thank you for sharing that. Your vulnerability with me, I appreciate it. And two, is this something you would like to talk about? Like, because when I hear things like that, I'm like, look, I'll drive to your house and we could talk about it together, or we could get on the phone. Like, if I'm that close to you, like, I want you to know you have my support. And I had the mental capacity to have that conversation because I already had a conversation with somebody before. But this one was different because this person didn't go to my church. I look at this person as family. But on social media, you would never know. Like, you would just never know. And this person attempted to commit suicide 3 times and it didn't work. And I was like, you still have a purpose. And I wanted to know, like, what type of support do you need at this time? What does that look like? Because I can't sit here and say, hey, if I just check up on them, then that's enough. That may not be enough for that person, or that may not suffice as support. So I wanted to know, like, well, what does that look like? And whatever that is, are you willing to let me support you, right? Are you willing to let me support you? So this person shared with me, and I was like, okay. And this person told me, speaking to God, and I was like, okay, that's good. Just let me know. And so I make it my duty to just keep checking up, like, hey, how are you? Like, you know, tell me about your day. Like, how was your day? And that takes nothing from my day, right? It takes absolutely nothing. It takes about, I don't know, like 5 minutes out of my day to say, are you okay to somebody? And I'm going to do this as soon as I get off this live. And then it made me realize how many people are out there that appear to be okay, but they're not. Like, what is it? There's some people that are highly depressed and they can function very well. And you may never know. Like, you may see them go out. You may see them have a smile on their face. You know, they're laughing, they're joking. But when they're by themselves, it's things that are bothering them. And sometimes they just don't know who to talk to. Yeah, and it's easy to tell somebody, hey, go to therapy. But some people have trust issues. Like, can I really trust this stranger with everything? One of the memes that I've read was that, you know, you can't heal in therapy if you're not telling your therapist everything. And I never forget, I had an assessment with my therapist last year, and she can tell that I was somewhat resistant. Like, I'm not about to tell this lady everything. But if I realized that, hey, if I wanted to be free, I had to tell her things that bothered me. Some things I thought that I got over, they were suppressed, and I had to get all of that out, and I feel free. And it just made me think about people that are close to me. Like, hey, are they okay, right? Like, I shared this with you before. I shared this again. Like, for 2 years, I struggled with Mother's Day because I had an abortion. And I'm not afraid to say that. Crap, I didn't even tell my dad. He may look at this video and find out for the first time, but I don't know. But it was hard for me to deal with that. And it took me a while to tell people that. But I told my therapist that, like, hey, I wasn't okay with Mother's Day. Like, I just wasn't okay. Because I was like, Dad, I could have celebrated that. But I realized, one, I made that decision not to move forward with the pregnancy. And number two, for me, I know people say, you know, you're never ready to be a parent. But no, I did not. I did not want a child at that time. Like, did not. But yeah, like, how many people can say that, hey, I am not okay, and be able to express that? It takes courage. It takes a lot. I had another guy friend, was like, hey, I'm checking up on you. Like, hey, how are you? And this person is in a relationship. Like, we're cool. Like, we are cool. Like, for me, if I have a male friend that I'm close with, I would like to know their partner, just so they know, listen, there's no funny business over here. I respect your marriage. I respect your relationship. You don't ever have to worry about me trying to be, you know, I don't disrespect relationships at all. So if I have a male friend and they are in a relationship or a marriage, I don't cross that line. I don't play with that at all. And so one of my friends was reaching out to me about something, and then another conversation. Like, some people, like, I feel like I could talk to you. I'm like, hey, I ain't gonna say nothing. But I didn't know this person was dealing with stuff until they said something. And so the point of this message is, just because someone appears to be okay on social media, because it's easy, right? Because, you know, social media, you can pretend to have this life, right? This ideal life that, hey, everything's perfect with me. And sometimes some people are living a life that they project on social media, which is fine. Do you? But then there's some people that say, hey, I only want you to see like the good parts, the flashy parts, the parts where I have sunlight. I don't want you to see the days that I have cloudy days. Like, I don't want you to see those. And I get it, and I understand it, because everything's not meant for everybody. But those people, when the phones are down and you're stuck with your own thoughts, who are you able to talk to? Are you able to tell somebody, hey, I'm not okay? And for me, I'll speak personally. And so this year I was pissed off about some things related to business-wise, work-related. And I prayed about it because I was like, God, you know, I will pop off. I will pop off in here, and I don't want to be known as a professor that just pops off. So I was like, God, let me pray about it, and let me talk to someone that could be my sounding board before I approach this person. Okay? And I did. I was like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? And we had a great conversation. I was like, okay, woosah. Now I'm able to confront this person. But personally, the last time I felt like I was, like this past weekend, my emotions were, I got a phone call that was unexpected. And my emotions was just I was out with one of my friends and I got a call. And I was just like, I didn't know what to think. Like, initially, I wanted to just stop what I was doing and prayed about it. But honestly, like, my emotion was just all over the place, that when I got to my destination, I didn't want to sit down. I just stood up and I had to go to a hospital. And I just prayed in the lobby. I was like, God, I pray that everything goes well, right? And everyone's like, do you want to sit down? I was like, no, I don't want to sit down. I don't want to sit down at all. But I was able to acknowledge that and told someone, and it was like, how are you? Like, how are you? And I was like, at that time, like, my emotions were just, because I didn't know what was going to happen. Everything's fine now, but I didn't know what was going to happen. And they checked up on me again, like, hey, how are you? Now I was like, I'm just tired. But I was able to identify with that. But last year, I was able to say, hey, I am not okay, right? I am not okay. And broke down crying, like, not okay. A couple times. Like, 2021 was a year, that year was a year of healing and tears. Like, the first 5-6 months, like, it was a lot of healing and tears, forgiveness. And 2022 is like my year of sunshine, like my year, like my rainbow year, like going through a storm in 2021 and being able to benefit from a rainbow, which is this year. And I appreciate the storm, don't get me wrong, I would never talk bad about the storm. It made me who I am. But I remember one time I bought some crabs. This was a week, I want to say a few days after my aunt, she passed away, my Aunt Tracy's 50th birthday. And for me, I like to do my thing where sometimes I like to eat crabs and wine, have crabs and have wine. And I'm shining. Oh, thank you. It's my new facial regimen, so thank you so much. And I like to have crabs and wine. That's something like I do, that just me. And so I got a call from my cousin, and I was like, hey girl, this is before I started to really work out. I had my butter, then I had a side of vinegar and hot sauce. My friends from Baltimore taught me that vinegar and hot sauce. I never tried them crabs, but it's really good actually. So I'm like, hey, like, I'm always, like, when people call me, I'm just like happy. And sometimes people laugh like, hey, why are you like this? I'm like, this is just me. And so I was like, hey cousin, like, how are you? Like, how's everything going? And she was like, I'm here to tell you that, Took moms to the hospital, and there's nothing they could do. And it just changed it changed how I felt at that time. Like, just imagine being happy and then instantly, like, it just slipped. Like, it just changed so quickly. And I'm sitting there like, okay, so what does this mean? Like, I know what it meant, but I was like, can I really handle the fact that my aunt's about to die? Like, my favorite aunt. Like, can I really? And I got a call from one of my friends. I was like, hey, I need to just not think about it. So went to one of my friends' gym, and we were just talking for like 30 minutes. And I realized that during the conversation, I just was out of it, because I could not believe what I just heard. And so the day after that, I found out that she was in the hospital. And I booked my flight immediately. Told my job, like, hey, listen, I can't come in this week. I'm taking the whole week off. Took the whole week off. And before I left, I called one of my girlfriends. And my friends, they look at me as a strong friend. That's why it's important, like, check on your strong friends. And I'm the strong one. I hold everybody else together, even in my family. And so, but this time I was weak. And I remember calling one of my girlfriends, like, because she knew my aunt. And I called her, and we were talking. And I just bust out crying. I was like, I'm about to lose my aunt. And I was at work too. And this is how I know that I'm not afraid to show that something bothers me. And I'm not afraid to say, hey, listen, I can't stay for the day. Like, I know I said I was going to try and finish this whole work day, but no. No, that's what sick days are for, and PTO, and I have to go. And I called her, and that was the first time that I cried in front of her, like, over the phone. And I don't cry like that in front of people or over the phone. People, like, I don't do that. And she was like, she didn't know how to handle it because she never saw me in this space. And she said, crap, it makes me cry because I never saw you like this. And you're always upbeat, and you're just so polite, and you're just so nice. Everything is just, like, going well. And yeah, I was like, I'm not okay. And then I called one of my girlfriends that we are in a prayer group together, and it was not related to my aunt, it was something else. And I called, and I was like, I know that if I call her, this prayer will hit different. And so I was at work, and I called her, and she prayed over me, like, and I cried. And I wasn't afraid to say I wasn't okay. But it takes a lot of courage to do that. And I'm an empath, right? I feel and I feel. And so if it's somebody really close to me, and I'm like, hey, how are you? How do you feel? I can tell when they're not being truthful. Like, hey, I'm doing well. And I'm like, I'll let them go along with that. But deep down they're not. And I just pray about it. And so I say all this to say that, like, it's okay not to be okay. It's absolutely okay. We are humans. We have feelings. We have emotions. And it's a matter of, like, how do you control it? How do you deal with it? How do you manage it? And that's a skill, and it takes some time. One of my friends asked me this is one last thing. Do I grieve? Right? Do I grieve? You can grieve over losing a job. You can grieve over a relationship, whether it's friendship, whether it's a romantic relationship. You could grieve over this idea of what you want your life to be, and you're not there yet. Like, you could grieve over a lot of things. It's a loss of something, or the idea of not having something right now, in my opinion, right? I'm not a therapist. And I said, yeah. I said, but this time I know how to grieve in a healthy way. If something bothers me, I know how to identify that. I know things that can trigger me. Like, hey, this is going to make me feel sad, right? It's going to make me feel sad. I'm able to identify that. And I said, yeah, I grieve. I said, just because I'm not on social media every single day saying, hey, or times that things hurt, like, hey, this hurt, I need somebody to pray for me. Because at the end of the day, I know how to pray to God. And so I don't need to write on social media or tell, like, hey, Can you pray? It's some people that I just don't know. They may be praying for my downfall, so I'm not going to write that on social media. But there's certain people I will speak to about, hey, these are my feelings and this is how I feel about things. Like, I'm not afraid to do that. But it's healing in a healthy way. Being okay if everything goes how I want it to go. And being okay if it doesn't, right? It's okay to miss somebody and realize, hey, I don't want this person in my life. It's okay to love somebody and not be with somebody. And I told one of my friends, I was like, I really had to think about this. I never forget my younger cousin asked me this a few years ago, like a couple years ago, about a gentleman that I loved. And I thought like, hey, this is the person like I want to see myself with for the rest of my life. That's what I thought. I was really young. But at that time, I didn't go to therapy, right? I didn't go to therapy, so I did not know how to really control my emotions. It was just a thought of being in and it was just a thought of like, hey, I like this person, but not being really sure what I wanted from the relationship, right? Not really being sure. And that's from being young and still learning what you like and what you dislike, and what you can look at as being long term. So my cousin asked me, like, this was years, like over 10 years ago, and my cousin asked me, like, recently, a couple years ago, right? She asked me something related to this person. I was like, oh, I don't love this person anymore. Like, I wish them well. And she said, you never really loved them. And I was like, what? I don't love this person anymore. And she said, and she's younger than me. She said, 2 years younger than me. She said, just because you're not with somebody and just because it didn't work out, if you really love them, you never stop loving them. You just learn how to live life without them. And I had to really dig deep and say, hey, did I really love this person? Or it was just an idea, but I didn't have the feelings attached. I had to think about it. But now at 35, I get it. And it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay to talk about your feelings, right? It's okay. And it's okay to grieve. I told my friends that grieving is not linear. Like, my aunt died over a year ago. And that shit it's still a pain, right? October is my birthday month, but it's also Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and she died from breast cancer. So, yeah, it's gonna be a celebratory month, but it's gonna also be an emotional month. Cause I'm like, my aunt died from this, right? She died from this. And so that's all that I have today. I hope that, especially to the men, I notice that a lot of men suffer in silence, and I just hope and pray that you do get the help that you need, if there's help that you do need. I hope that people give you the space to vent. That's still being a man. That's still being masculine if you express yourself. Because I know that some men are taught to man up. And it made me think, like, what's considered manning up? Like, I don't understand. Like, what does that mean? Manning up mean you can't cry, but crying is an emotion. That's something that we all have within us. And so I don't know what that means. And I just hope and pray that, people give you the space to really allow you to be you. I hope that you have the space where you're able to really show your emotions and not be ridiculed about it, right? I hope and pray that, and I hope and pray that you know that you're amazing. Like, I hear some men that say, like, yeah, no one ever tells me to have an amazing day. Like, sometimes, like, I'll probably do this today, like, just reach out to several guys I know, like, hey, like, you're a dope black king. And I'll get a response. Some people respond back like, y'all, I don't get this enough. People don't send me praises or affirmations. I was like, make me think, like, what the hell's wrong with some of the women in my generation? But that's a different story for a different day. But I just wish that you are well, and that goes for everybody. I just hope that you have a great day. I just hope you have a phenomenal week. And I just hope you know that you are amazing. Like, you're so amazing. That's all I have. I need to do some work, and I need to work on things I need to get done this week. So take care, guys, and I hope that you enjoyed this chat. Bye.